What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access for Best Albums, and today we're joined by E.D.I Mean from the Outlawz. Thank you for coming through, sir.
Man, it's my pleasure.
Always great to see you, sir.
Likewise.
Man, best albums, we're going to take it back a little bit, man. E40 in a major way.
E40 in a major way, man. One of my favorite albums for a lot of different reasons. I just take you back to '95, man. I was fresh out my teens, and Pac had blessed me with a car. He had bought a 73 Eldorado drop top.
Okay.
White with burgundy guts.
Man.
And you know, I ain't know much about cars at the time, so instead of taking it to a mechanic and getting it looked at, first thing I did was take it to the swap meet and bought some beer. First thing I did, I put some thump in the trunk, you feel me? And the first album at that time, before I had even started driving the car in a major way, was like my favorite album at that time.
Okay.
And so that was the first album I played. It stayed in the deck, repeat over and over again, because at that time, like, that album had the thump. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it had that
man.
thump when you ride up the block.
It was that mob music,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, that mob music.
That album in particular also, I'm from Maryland, and that one was the first one that he really started making a break into Maryland, and I think really on the East Coast, thanks to Sprinkle Me, of course.
Big
and
record.
I knew that one, you know, he had the male-female interplay with Sugar T on there, of course, but then, at least from my region, I knew it was going to be big when they did a go-go version, or they basically put a go-go instrumental.
When they do go-go.
They did a go-go instrumental, or they put a go-go instrumental underneath Sprinkle Me over the lyrics. And when I heard that on the radio and in the clubs and stuff, I was like, oh, this song's out of here, man.
Anytime they do a go-go remix to your record, your shit is out of here. That mean it done penetrated the DMV. They loving you out there. Right. And you know, that's like a stamp of approval.
Absolutely, man. And it takes you to another level, and I think in a major way also did that because at the time, you know, the Bay wasn't as big as it later became, and I think in a major way helped play a role with that, because really nationally we had really seen like the Too Short with Jive, which in a major way and E40 also aligned themselves with, but this album I think helped open the floodgates because, you know, by the time it was '95, you know, you did have Digital Underground, you know, you had Paris.
You had Souls and Mischief from up there. You know, the Bay was active. The Bay was definitely active, but that was one, you know, that was the one that got a plaque for the Bay. You know what I'm saying? That was platinum certified, you know, certified bangers on throughout the whole album. You know, you could start at the top with Chip in the Phone and the intro, and then, you know, One Love, one of my favorite E40 songs, Dustin and Disgusted with Mac Mall and Spice and Pac, epic, you know what I'm saying, epic collab right there on the album. You know, you got the Click on there doing their thing. You got a classic record with him and Be Legit. I always liked their chemistry, how they played off of each other.
Well, I was gonna say, you know, 40 kept it in the family literally with Sugar T and Be Legit and everything, and even D-Shot, of course. Yeah. So with them, what did you think with the Click and as their performance on In a Major Way made them so special as a unit?
I mean, 40 had his own sound. Like, let's just start off with his delivery and his tone. Right. You know, it's no other rapper you really could compare.
Can do what he does.
You know,
nobody can do what he does.
You got a lot of people that, you know, may even try to emulate that style or try to fuck with it, but it's very difficult to do. You know, he's one of one. You know, and then also just behind the scenes, I remember the shockwaves it sent through when he did that deal with Jive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And everybody, even established artists that had major deals, was like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Did you hear the number on that? Like, and then, you know, he gonna get the crib next to Gary Payton. Like, that was big moves that helped add to the fact that he just put an album out and called it a major way. You know what I'm saying? That just solidified him. And it's no secret to me that 20 years later, you know, you can still hear him on records with Big Sean and Ty Dolla $ign, and he's one of those artists that's managed to stay relevant regardless. Yeah,
and I think that we saw that because before that album, with Federal and the Click and these different records, it was very Bay and it was very mob and it was very, you could argue it was regional to a degree. And I think that with Sprinkle Me, he showed like, yo, I can make a hit record. Right. I can make a song that can penetrate all the way to Maryland and to DC, which he did. And
absolutely.
What did you see artistically creatively that you saw within a major way that he did differently?
Well, I've always been a fan of production. You know what I'm saying? No matter whose album, it's the production that catches me first, because I'm a producer in my head. You know, even though I'm known for being an MC, I'm a producer as well. Yeah. And so what Sam Bostic and Mike Mosley was putting up under 40, you know, it literally made Pac go get them for his shit. You know what I'm saying? Because him and Mike Mosley had, you know, they did great records together. And him, Mike Mosley, and Sam Bostic did, you know, Heavy in the Game on Me Against the World. So, you know, they sound was just so tight. And it was, at the time, you know, G-Funk was reigning supreme, but 40 had his own thing. You know, you couldn't really call it G-Funk, but it just moved you. You know, it had that bass in there, the snares were slapping. So as soon as you put the album on and it start with, you know, the intro and Chip on the phone, right. You already know it's a whole nother lane. You know what I mean? And if your ears have been, you know, stuck on one sound, it's gonna sound foreign to you. Right. It's gonna sound foreign to you, but if you got an open mind, you'll definitely get into it. And I'll tell you a funny story. When we first came to Oakland, being East Coast kids, when we first came to Oakland, that was one of the first artists Pac put us on, because he wanted to expand our palette for music. We were strictly East Coast at the time. And he was like, yo, it's a big world out here. It's a lot of dope cats that's doing hip hop that ain't from New York. You know what I'm saying? So let me put y'all up on something. And when E40 first came on board, we had a hearty laugh. We was like, are you serious? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you serious right now? You know what I mean? This is what you into? But lyrically, when you start listening to him,
dude, incredible.
He's incredible. You know what I'm saying? Once you get past the style and, you know, like he used to say, I'm not rapping too fast, you just listening too slow. Once you get past the style and you start listening to what that man's saying, it ain't nothing but straight G. One of the best, you know. I definitely would say 40 top 5, and he never gets mentioned in that conversation.
Now that being said, what do you think is the legacy of In a Major Way?
For artists to go from independent to major, and that first project be a platinum album, to me that certified him as one of the great moguls, let alone MC in the game. You know, that was a mogul move. So to me the legacy is that. You know, after that you had the Cash Moneys and, you know, No Limits and all these other cats that were independent, doing numbers and went major. Right. But 40 was the first, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of major dudes that can't say that.
And it got him in the Hall of Game.
Got him in the Hall of Game. The next album, another classic, and then he just keep putting out music and he stays relevant, man. So you gotta salute him, man.
Absolutely.
In a major way.
In a Major Way, E40 best albums here on Unique Access. Soren Baker, E.D.I Mean.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming through, sir.